Let's go on a wild adventure to a place unknown. Let's go to a world of watercolour, far away from home.
Chloe, that's your paint water.
Hello and welcome to HappyPawtraits. This is my first YouTube video and oh my gosh, I am so excited. My name's Chloe and I'm a pet portrait artist and illustrator. I'm lucky enough to get to spend basically from dusk till dawn drawing cats, dogs, rabbits. I even drew a toad once, and of course lots of wildlife too. Today I'm drawing one of my Happy Planet series. I've done quite a few of these and have a lot more planned for 2019, which I can't wait to share with you. This one was for a friend featuring her dog, Allie Mae, you can see her at the top of the planet, and lots of adorable endangered animals. I've got lots of ideas for this channel, so let's just get started. I started the Happy Planet drawing by just drawing around a big bowl. That is really the best way to get a perfect circle. And I shared the first part of it on my Instagram, on my stories, and then I suddenly thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do a YouTube. So usually it will start with the drawing from beginning to end, from pencil to pen to watercolour. But in this case, unfortunately, I didn't have it. Well, I did have some, but as you can see, it didn't really translate that well to a video, but next time it will. So before I started, I looked up endangered animals, and it was unbelievable how many are endangered. And so sad, especially when the ones you see here that I've chosen are so iconic. They're like the first ones we learn when we're children, and then they're going to be fine. We're going to save them all. So I chose the iconic ones like the panda, the gorilla, the tiger. Then I chose a few more obscure ones like the axolotl, the fennec fox, and the kakapo. I always want to call it a Kia. The manatee, and I even threw in a pika there. The pika was supposed to look cute with flowers, but he looks like he's about to bash me with them. And because my friend is from New Zealand, I thought, well, I've got to have some New Zealand animals in there, so I put in the fairy tern. A lot of people ask me, what is that you're drawing with? And some people even call it, what's that magic brush? Well, my magic brush, I'm revealing the secret, is a water brush. Basically, instead of having a paintbrush where you're constantly dipping in water, dipping out, dipping in, dipping out, and then, in my case, drinking the paint water. I actually did drink it once by mistake. It was a horrible experience. Anyway, you just basically fill them up, and usually they last for about, well, it depends how much you're painting, but it usually lasts for me for about half an hour or something. Then you just fill it up again with water. Derwent do them, and Fabercastelle. I just literally use it all the time. I rarely use a normal paintbrush. They are just amazing. This isn't a marketing video at all, but if anybody is interested in the materials that I'm using, I've included them in the link down below, because whenever I watch videos, I'm always like, oh, but whoa, what's that pen? I want that pen needs to be a part of my family. So if you want a pen to be a part of your family, you know where to go now. Okay, there's a big mistake here, and I've left it in because I'm doing an honest thing. I thought that was purple! Freeze frame. And to let you into my thought process here, I'm thinking, oh my god, what have I done? What am I gonna do? I can't draw this all again. Please, help me, let it go right. It's because when I got my beautiful Windsor and Newton watercolours, I had them all so precious and perfect, and then they fell off the couch upside down, and now I don't know which one's which. And I just have to guess, and that's why I just dumped a load of black instead of purple. Yeah, you can just see my desperation. Oh god, why won't the black go? I can't tell you how many times this happens, but don't worry, spoiler alert, it's fine. Speaking of blacks, there's a lot of artists who don't actually use black, the black that comes with the paints, because on a sciencey sort of way, black doesn't actually exist. It's a mixture of so many colours and how the light hits it and everything, but I am more of a painter that likes bold bright colours, and I do mix colours, but I just like I just like that cartoony sort of feel of black. Phew, I have saved the corner. And now I'm going to do some nice dreamy sort of watercolour. I just adore these two colours. purple and all the blues, they just seem to go together like an ocean of dreams. Lots of beautiful blues. I literally work from 3 different types of paint palette. I mean, come on Chloe, you should be able to get used to just one. But I love Windsor and Newton for so many variety of colours, and I love how easily they go on. And then I have my Prima watercolours because the pastel dreams that are a pastel dream. Literally you get the colours of the sky, skin, and they're so vibrant, they're like a summer meadow. Gosh, I love them. Sorry, fangirling over paints again. And then I've also got my Inktense Derwent paints because they're just so vibrant. They're kind of the definition of me. Here's a little run through of how it's looking. Yes, they look quite happy, the animals, but they're a bit like, can you paint us? We look naked. Oh, Finley the fennec fox and an angry looking peacock. I don't know what he's going to do with those flowers and I don't want to know. And this is the kakapo, and this is my paint trying to get in on the action. So, some animal facts, yes. This is the kakapo, and it is a flightless parrot. It's so fat, it just crawls along the floor in the trees, and I always feel worried whenever I see it because, I mean, little fat parrot with the predators around. I'm not a little bit worried for his safety, but he's also called the night parrot, and it's just a sign of how amazing evolution is, but I don't know how well it's worked out for the kakapo. Does have an amazing name though. I don't know what it is about gold pens and gel pens and everything. They just take you straight back to school days when it's like, oh, I've got a gold gel pen, I'm the coolest kid in school. That was like the only thing you needed in your life and you were made. You were known for the gold gel pen. Though my school was a little bit strange. Instead of doing conventional things at break time, we like to crawl around putting wax crayons in the sharpeners and collecting all the wax, because it was pretty and colourful, and I have no idea why we all did that. It was like tidy up time and everybody was trying to take all the sharpenings of the wax crayons. I have no idea why. It sounds absolutely crazy. This is my first video. You'll have to let me know what you like to hear in the videos. Like, I could literally talk about anything. I could talk about animal facts. I'd literally spin off about evolution and all sorts, or I could just talk about the art, or whatever inspires me. So whatever you like, just comment below. Because it's sort of an experiment at the moment, this YouTube. It's a piece of artwork in itself. But okay, back to the drawing. So I'm drawing Mr. Manatee here, and the idea is, well, manatees are kind of grey, bluey. They seem to look different in every picture, so my idea is just to sort of lay down a wash of pale blues, pale grey, pale white, no, not pale white, white is pale, and just kind of hope, really. It's like we're drawing Mr. Gorilla with a very, very defined monobrow. Oh, this is from my Insta stories. On Instagram, if you check out HappyPawtraits, I do loads of behind the scene videos on my Instagram story, work in progress, and very random things like making an assault course for my remote control BB-8 from Star Wars. Or just going to, you know, a park or the cafe and drawing. Actually, I don't usually draw. Oh, I did draw in a cafe once, and it was a terrible, terrible experience. I will never, ever do it again. I was just sitting in the cafe and I'd taken my sketchbook and I was working on my colouring book actually, because I create a colouring book every year full of 300 pets and I draw it in about 4 weeks and it's really fun to do. And I'd just taken that and I was thinking, oh, look at me, I'm the artist in the cafe, feeling pretty pleased with myself. And Mum joined me and I'd just done this really detailed drawing. I was really pleased with it, couldn't wait to show her. And then we got a phone call and we thought something bad had happened. It turns out it hadn't, but oh my gosh, I just kind of went into shock and I knocked Mum's cappuccino right across the table. It went across my drawing, it went in my sketchbook, it went in my bag which had my laptop in, and I had never taken my laptop to a cafe. That was like its first outing ever. Luckily it was fine, but the same could not be said for my sketchbook, which was ruined. Oh my gosh, it was absolute sodden cappuccino stained mess. Amazingly though, thank God for Photoshop, I was able to take a photo of the messed up drawing because I was really pleased with it. And I just upped the contrast and I fiddled with the brightness and it actually came out so well. I used it in the actual colouring book. You would not know what page it was. I couldn't believe it. The only bad thing was that I'd done this really detailed drawing of my holiday in Wales, of all the landscapes I'd been to, and I'd taken ages over this. I'd spent quite a long time on it, and I'd even had a gap for a few weeks just to make sure that I could do it right, didn't just hurry the composition or anything. It was absolutely ruined. I couldn't save that. The book stank of coffee and I had to throw it in the bin. It was a pretty dismal moment. So yeah, no more sitting in a cafe with a drawing. Well, definitely not if there's any cappuccinos around. So just as I like to use my Fabercastelle Pitt Artist pens, I also love to use my Fabercastelle, my watercolour pencils, because they're amazing. They just give you that security, I suppose, when you're drawing. You can do this with a paintbrush, you get to add in the details. And I really, really love the selection of colours, and just drawing with them is just a really beautiful experience. What I'm doing here is trying to sort of emulate the feeling of water reflecting on them. It's a really hard technique to get right. I'm just kind of hoping that it'll go right while I'm working. I sort of see how I want it to look like in my mind, and then I just try and get that as closely as I can from my mind. And what I've got now is my amazing electric eraser, and it's really brilliant because I can erase the crayon that I've already put down. I couldn't do this with watercolour. That's the great thing about an electric eraser. You don't have to get rid of the whole area, it just gets rid of where you want it to. And I've just taken the purple here to give a sort of 3D sort of effect, to make it look like with this water effect, and then bringing in the rubber again. The thing is with the electric rubbers, it really just goes and your paper just is like sucked out with the friction, and you can't really film and hold on to it and do it. And I think that did quite well to give the feeling of the water reflecting over it and the light. I tried that effect once before and it didn't go particularly well. It kind of looked like a really old corroded fishing net was wrapped around it. Not the effect I was going for. It's nearly finished and I'm getting my lovely white Signo gel pen to add those dots. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've watched this far, thank you very much, because I know I certainly talk a lot. If you like it, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Thank you so much.
Let's go on a wild adventure to a place unknown. Let's go to a world of watercolour.